Or 5 this morning about a moose on the loose in the 1700 block of 38th Street South in Fargo. That's an area right around the West Acres Mall.
The officers were trying to get the moose out of town without it running into traffic or causing any damage. Then they called North Dakota Game and Fish, and they're now letting the moose find its own way out of town. Now, moose can be aggressive, so if you see it, you should give that animal space for the safety of yourself and for the animal itself. As COVID-19 cases continue to rise in North Dakota, are you wearing that face mask? Now, it's a subject that gets people pretty heated up.
And the Fargo City Commission is hoping to lower the temperature on that argument and bring numbers down as well. The Valley Today's Brian Sherratt joins us live this morning with the latest proposal. Good morning, Brian.
And good morning, Jordan and Lisa. The idea for this local campaign comes from their already ongoing campaign, which is Mask Up North Dakota. Now, if you're traveling down I-94 like I usually am on a daily basis, you can actually see those signs posted all across the highway. You know, as our neighboring state, Minnesota, already has a mask mandate in place, us being right next door, that could be a possibility as well. Now, just like we just mentioned, this new proposed mask campaign could be the task force attempt to get people to want to wear a face mask on their own. This is also used to get feedback before there's any kind of reconsideration of a mandate in Fargo. Fargo Mayor Tim Mahoney says the Red River Task Force will be working with local athletic teams, health systems, and you to better understand why they say masking up is so important.
As we have heard from our public health professionals and healthcare systems, we need everybody to take this virus seriously. If not for your own health, please consider the health of your friends, family, neighbors, and our community's most vulnerable.
Now, Clay County Public Health reports say there's been a spike in cases this month in 18 to 22-year-olds. This comes as this age group is not following the CDC guidelines like before. Essentia and Sanford hospitals say they've seen the highest level of COVID-19 patients since May. On another matter, there's been some problems with contact tracers, and the state's epidemiologist stressed the importance of being nice to them. He also says that if they ask you questions about potential exposure to COVID-19, be truthful and be cooperative. It's like going to a doctor's office. You want to tell the truth to them as well so they can help you in your time of need.
Brian Sherratt reporting live this morning. Thank you. New this morning, American Airlines plans to begin furloughing 19,000 employees starting today. United is also on pace to pull nearly 12,000 workers off the payroll. The airlines had been negotiating with the government for more federal aid, but so far that has failed to produce a new deal.
As many seats continue to go unfilled due to the pandemic, American says that it must offset that with buyouts, early retirements, and unpaid or partially paid leave. It's kind of like the warnings to drivers around the first days of winter, only this one, it's about sugar beet trucks. Harvest season gets going in earnest today, and people need to watch out for those trucks that are hitting the highways and hauling beets.
They often run 24/7 to get the crop out of the fields, and too often we hear about crashes involving those beet trucks. So be careful and keep an eye out for them.
There are some lane closures that you need to watch out for in downtown Fargo starting today. They could slow down your morning drive. Started at 6 this morning, north and southbound traffic on 4th Street North will be reduced to one lane between Main and NP Avenues.
Workers are making some water main and storm sewer repairs, but it should be done by the end of the day on Wednesday.
Now 9 minutes before the top of the hour, we want to get a check of our forecast. Cold, windy, not really a pleasant first day of October out there, Summer.
You summed it up just in all one thing. I definitely grabbed my winter jacket this morning, and maybe some of you are too before you head out the door. That morning commute is well underway, and we have some clouds across Fargo to start our day. It's still very chilly out there, especially up north. 39 in Hallock, in Crookston, Thief River Falls also at 39, 36 in Roseau, 37 in Boston, 39 in Detroit Lakes, 40 Grand Forks, 42 in Fargo, and 42 in Jamestown as well. But factoring in that breeze that we're seeing this morning, it feels like temperatures are in the 30s across much of the region. This thick blue line, or white line rather, indicates the freezing degree mark. So north of that, temperatures in the low 30s is what it feels like, or even some upper 20s. And that's all thanks to a northerly wind this morning, still gusting into the 20s around Grand Forks, into the 30s in Fargo-Moorhead. But I'm not expecting it to be windy all day. I'm expecting those winds to back off between around 10 and 20 miles per hour, gusting into the 20s. So not nearly as windy as yesterday. We won't be under thick cloud cover all day long. I'm expecting us to be in and out of clouds for your afternoon, calling it a partly cloudy day. As we head into tomorrow morning is when temperatures really begin to fall. But today, were very chilly as well. 49 in Grand Forks, Fargo, and Wahpeton, 44 in Detroit Lakes and Thief River Falls, 47 in Valley City and Devil's Lake. By tomorrow morning, there could be some locations in the upper 20s to lower 30s. Cover up the garden, disconnect your garden hose. A freeze warning will go into effect at 2 a.m. and continue through 8 a.m. tomorrow morning, and a frost advisory for the counties shaded in blue. We do have a few more chilly days ahead of us, including that first alert weather morning for tomorrow, but we do have some 60s on the way as we head into next week, so it's not all bad news to start off the first week of October.
Nice rebound next week. Looking forward to that. Thank you, Summer. Minnesota's Attorney General is launching a program to help some criminals clear their records so they can improve their lives. Keith Ellison will announce a plan a little later this morning that has prosecutors helping eligible Minnesotans obtain expungement of their criminal record at no cost.
Without it, people who have satisfied all the terms of their sentence for a crime can have trouble getting good jobs, education, or housing. And until now, most have had to navigate a complicated, expensive system all on their own. 3 months ago, downtown Fargo was a pretty dangerous place to be as dozens of protesters went head-to-head with police following the death of George Floyd at the hands of Minneapolis police. Now a second man is charged in federal court, and we told that he won't be the last. U.S. Attorney Drew Wrigley announced yesterday that a Moorhead man is facing a civil disorder charge.
Authorities say Jonathan Montanez was agitating the crowd by jumping on police squad cars and damaging a vehicle. If convicted, he could spend up to 5 years in prison and pay up to a $250,000 fine. Montanez is the second person to face federal charges from the night of the riot. Police are still working with the FBI to identify more people so they can pursue federal charges, but they're saying face coverings are making that difficult. A high-risk sex offender is now living in West Fargo. Martin Torres is living at 1805 Main Avenue West at the Red River Valley Fairground campgrounds. He has 2 offenses on his record, one from 1998 for corruption and solicitation of a minor, and another from 2017 for forced sexual contact with a girl under the age of 11.
And Fargo police want you to know about a high-risk sex offender who has registered his address in the metro. Sean Johnston is living at 734 College Street North. He was convicted in 2017 of corrupt solicitation of a minor in Grand Forks County. The victim was a 17-year-old girl. Now he was also convicted of the same charges back in 2013. Colder weather is putting some Minnesota businesses in a pinch. The co-owners of Swing Barrel Brewing in Moorhead has had customers out on their patio all summer long, but the colder weather is now taking away that option.
So now they're rapidly brainstorming to keep their business going, including events with a limited amount of people or finding ways to still get their product to their customers, even if they have to close their doors.
Right now it's kind of pivoting a little bit more toward distribution into some local liquor stores around the area, as well as some tap handles and some bars that are willing to be open.
This is the reality for many Minnesota businesses who say they didn't imagine this would have to be part of their business plan. But as the pandemic continues, their focus is turning to survival.
Businesses we spoke with say they're working to stay open while putting health and safety first, and they're hoping to get support from the community, city, state, and national leaders.
With COVID-19 cases continuing to rise in North Dakota, one health issue that officials are dealing with now are people not cooperating with contact tracing. Contact tracing relies heavily on cooperation from the person who tests positive for COVID-19. Health officials get contacts from that person in order to reach out and then have those people also tested.
But recently, they have noticed more of a pushback when it comes to gathering contacts. The North Dakota Department of Health says that people don't need to worry about their information remaining secure. They're required by law to keep information confidential. So let's take a look at those latest COVID-19 numbers. North Dakota now reporting 447 new cases in the state and 8 new deaths. 246 people in total have died in the state.
Minnesota has 689 new cases and 16 new deaths, bringing the death toll to 2,036. You're going to see some Moorhead police officers with pink badges starting today.
Now, officers have personally bought these badges to wear through October, and the donations now go to the Breast Cancer Foundation. The program aims to inspire and provide hope to those affected by breast cancer. The Mall of America is stepping up for businesses struggling because of COVID-19 or the civil unrest in downtown Minneapolis.
They're opening something called Community Commons on the second floor of the mall for businesses to relocate to temporarily. 17 local shops will get free rent through March, and you can help too by shopping there starting today. The long-lost dog tags belonging to a North Dakota soldier who was wounded in Vietnam are now with the soldier's family after being gone for more than 50 years. Ronald Hepper, who grew up near Selfridge, lost them in 1969 when a grenade blew off the boots he was wearing with the tags inside.
They recently resurfaced in Russia, where an American bought them from a street vendor, and then he gave them to the U.S. Embassy. Yesterday, Governor Doug Burgum returned them to Hepper's widow, Ruth. Now, Hepper died in 2007 at the age of 58. He is buried at the North Dakota Veterans Cemetery. And on another note, big national news today, it is Jimmy Carter's 96th birthday.
96th.
Yes.
Wow. Well, happy birthday. Let's get our answer now to our question of the morning on Facebook. Here's today's question. A new survey found that 1 in 3 homes have one of these that does not work.
Now, we had a lot of good guesses this morning, but the answer is actually a smoke detector. Firefighters everywhere, they're shaking their heads right now. You got to make sure those smoke detectors are working. It's a good way to prevent anyone from potentially losing their life in a house fire. So if you haven't done that yet, maybe this morning wake up everyone in your house and press that little button on there.
Good reminder, good safety tip as well. The Today Show and CBS This Morning are just about to start, but remember, the Valley Today rolls on. You can join us right now for more live, up-to-the-minute news and weather right now on the Fargo CW.